Hey, and welcome back to Toby's Real Skills with Toby. That's still me. In today's video, we want to talk about the Victron VenusOS version 2.9 and higher, and we want to do the upgrade together. In the last video, we did the upgrade to 2.89, I believe. And that was pretty easy to just handle within, you click online or you click in your remote console, check for updates, you see, oh, there's a 2.89 available, and that's the version I want to install without any manual work needed. But now there have been breaking changes as much as they documented, and this is the document, the VenusOS firmware change log I saw and received. And when we go into oh my goodness, you can see it's very long. When you go into version 2.90, there are a lot of changes. I might get in a few comments. I will give you a few comments here, but the upgrading process is different. There's an entire section for the Raspberry Pi, and there's a note which states reflashing the SD card is required. That's something which I thought, cool, that means we have to reflash the existing. But before I want to do that, I don't want to break my system which is still up and running. What I want to do, I have my system. I did already get an extra micro SD card, and I will flash the extra micro SD card, install the new system, and we'll try it. And then I just swap out the micro SD cards and see if the new system is easy and what we have to do and what are the instructions on that. Because I didn't find a lot detail about it so far. So that's what I want to do. So long intro, apologies for that. But what we're going to do is focus here a little bit on the firmware update. I tried to do the update with pulling the new file, the 2.94, onto the USB stick already, and then as soon as you plug it into your Raspberry Pi, it pops out on the remote console, says, hey, there's a USB. You want to check on firmware, it just doesn't show up. I tried different versions, I tried different images. There are those, as you remember, there were those different file endings, SW something and WIC. I'm sorry, I'm not super familiar with those, but that's what Victron is providing here. So there's the WIC.gz, and then there's the zip here, of course. There is the SDIMG, and then they also had the SWU. So I was playing around with that, and I don't want to waste your time. So what I want to do, going straight using microSD, we'll flash it together, we'll pop it into the Raspberry Pi, and we'll see what we need to reconfigure, and we'll use one of the previous videos, how to do the initial setup. And fingers crossed, and hopefully it will work without any huge changes we have to do. But at the end, hopefully at the end, I didn't try this yet, hopefully at the end, we will be able to connect it to the VRM portal online, and we can see our setup there again. That will be the ideal case. I would say we'll get started. We'll just download the file we need, and because this always takes a little bit, I did download the Venus image large for Raspberry Pi 2, since I have the 3, and it stated the image for 2 is also for the 3, Raspberry Pi 3. I did download large, and I also downloaded the normal version I downloaded the normal image version for 2.94. But I will go with the large. I did a little bit research before, and I hope that's good. So I think that's very important. There are, since they made those big changes, and that's what we have to do and consider. We have to consider. Since they made the big changes, we have to look into, do we need the large version or the small version? So that's something up to you. And in the large version, there is the Node-RED. So offers PLC-like programming for connecting hardware devices, APIs, and online services. If that's something you want to get into, large version. As well, there's a Signal K server in case your system. The Signal K server is a server application that runs on a central hub in a boat. In this case, Victron GX device. If that's something, you also have to go with a large version. I still want to keep my options open. That's why I go with the large version. Is it a mistake? I don't know yet. I haven't tested a new image, so I'll just go with it. I could go with the small or the regular version. But no. All in. So I did download those two versions already. And as you remember, we need the Raspberry Pi imager. I previously downloaded a version 1.74. I don't know if there's a new version actually. So using the SD card, popping it in. I will scroll down, select own image. Sorry, this is German again. It should say own image. And then we want to select large. And that's why I downloaded GC file, by the way. GZ. GZ. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Sorry, pronunciation. You can see the ending here, right? So that's what I downloaded, and that's what's pre-selected. Open it. I'm selecting my micro SD card. In this case, I just realized I have a 16 gigabyte card. The image is, what is it, 250 kilobyte? Should be plenty of space. I would recommend go with a higher version. At the moment, I don't have another version available, so I'm using this one. Clicking yes, it will erase all the data on it. Totally fine. And now it's writing on it. I have to tell you because it's still in German. Apologies. Finalizing. Done. All right, we wrote the image to our SD card. That's great. I can close this, take out my card, and what I'm going to do, just to make it easier for me, I took the Raspberry Pi up in my office, just to make it easier. I will plug in a Ethernet cable that it can connect automatically to my network, home network in this case, and I can find it on my router. So I know the new IP address, because I'm pretty sure there will be a new IP address. The old IP address will not be the same. So I would recommend you doing something similar. Otherwise you have to configure your Wi-Fi already, or you connect the display and also the keyboard to your system. Here we have our little friend. And as soon as I plug it in, sorry about it, but the fan seems to be breaking, so I just ordered a new housing. It's getting louder and louder. And I also don't want to have it overheating too much, so I hope you cannot hear too much. That's why I'm mentioning it. Otherwise, get some AC cooling here in this office, so no worries. All right, I'm plugging in the new micro SD card, and I'm connecting everything I want to connect to it, even the HDMI, anything else. And it took a little while, but there it is. So I did find the Raspberry Pi here. Remote console. When I click in it, I can use my mouse, and then I can change to menu. Nice. Let's see what we can do in here. So we go to firmware. We can see it's 2.94. I like it. Online updates. Check online. Check only. Oh, sorry. Press to check. There we go. Double click. Update available. Interesting. I thought it was 2.94. Okay, interesting. It says it's 2.94, but it does have a new one 2.94. Image type normal. Latest release, and it didn't go into nightly builds or anything. So okay, cool. Let's just do those updates very quick. Then we'll get into the more interesting part to see what we need to reconfigure. It looks like it's doing a reboot. Yep. Let's try to reconnect. Oh, there we are. Nice. That's the device. Firmware 2.94. All right. The latest build time. Online updates. Press to check again. There we go. Checking the new version. Okay. Now with the newest possible version on it. The newest possible version as of today in May. A month later, then I think it was April 13th or something, they sent out a release. Oh no, they published a release. All right, here we are. Okay, here we are. What I want to have, wireless SC, Wi-Fi. Let's see if we can do those. here. All right, cool. Looks like I can connect to my Wi-Fi through this. Make it maybe easier. Not telling you my password. Oh yeah. We are back online. Friends, we don't need the Ethernet cable anymore. We can do it all now with the Wi-Fi. We have to change the IP address. There we go. I'm connected. That's the new one. Okay, that is great. So doing all the configurations through Ethernet, I feel like it's, for me at least, way easier. Well, I'm in the Windows world. For everyone else using Linux, I'm pretty sure you would rather use your keyboard. Apologies, I'm doing that through the keyboard. I feel like this is way easier because what I want to do now is connecting the system, and I have to remember VRM online portal. I have to go in here. All right, that's what I see on the website at the moment. Oh, I just realized a few seconds ago, data from authenticated devices being received for the installation. Let me click on this. New VRM portal ID. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's what it was. Interesting. So, as you saw me clicking the reset token for re-authentication, that's what was needed to get a new installation in order, the new Raspberry Pi. Because it somehow did have, I'm not sure why, but it somehow did have the right VRM online portal ID, which worked great. Because now we have it in here, 10:01. Still, something's off with the time here. Which is fine, we can figure that out. Date and time. Yeah, wrong time zone. America. We'll go Pacific. US and Canada. We'll take this one. There we go. You might remember that we did last time a video specifically just talking about how to enable SSH. Something we also have to do. I just went through the settings a little bit, wanted to zip around, and then I realized, oh cool, there's something missing. So I did already connect to the Raspberry Pi. We want to go with the arrow to right to settings, want to go general, and then we do have the access level. And by clicking one time on it, we only see user and user and installer. The default password, just that you notice by switching, should be 3x C. And then clicking OK, I can change the user level. That's the default password. You might want to change that on yours. Being an access level user and installer, clicking it and then holding it for 5 seconds should enable to go to the access level for Superuser and setting a root password as well as enable SSH in this case. So I'll click on set root password, setting my own password, not telling you, press OK. Password is changed, but that gives us the opportunity now, when we are using, we have PuTTY, I connect to my PuTTY as a root user, type in my password, and I'm in. Remember, this makes it a lot easier. Remotely type in things, change files and whatnot, copy and paste commands, which we did last time. That's what we can do now here. We can copy and paste commands. We can change the resolution. Here, pointing out, we can change the resolution. We can enable things. We can turn on the headless display so that we can use a display. And that's what we want to do, because at the moment, I see the resolution seems to be wrong, and I do not see anything to click. Besides the fact there's no touchscreen to use at all at the moment. So that's what we need to do. And look at that, I found my old file here as well from my old video. Activate touchscreen, install Backlight. I have to double check if I have to do all those things again. Bad news. We have to do all the configurations again, I feel like. So touchscreen is not working, well, no data on there. Also the display is not working, at least that it displays the remote console or the console there. So I want to show you what you need to do. And I feel like the first thing really was to enable SSH. First step. I mean, after upgrading, obviously. But then we want to do the actual connection with the PuTTY. So here's my PuTTY or putty or whatever you want to call it. I call it putty. I will connect with a root user with the password I did set. And here we are. And what I want to do next, turn on the display with this command, which is also in the description below. Send it out, do the reboot, hit enter. Now I can see something on my display, my friends. So, there it is again. Cool. Everything connected over there, so I don't want to disconnect it. Touch does not work yet. And I feel like, you remember there were a lot of packages we installed. I will follow the steps after the reboot. Now to reconnect. Now we have to connect again. Now after reboot, we will connect to our Raspberry Pi again with the putty, and I'll follow all the steps to activate touchscreen again. So that means we'll see where it stops. Remember, it needs to be connected to your Wi-Fi, to internet, because we're downloading now all the packages again. There might be new versions. We will see if we'll get into this issue. It works so far, that's great. I will stick with the resolution at the moment. You can see the resolution in this file. 400 by 400, it should be 480 by 400. We'll stick with that for now. Exodus, then this command, it did work, as well as this one did also work. Alright, now we downloaded the packages. We'll update the packages really quick, if there are any updates at all. Source, okay. Activate touchscreen. With activating, it looks like it's installing some software, some packages. That's last time it did it too. Let's see if that's good or not. Okay, and now we can calibrate the touchscreen, and I did split it in two parts. We'll see what we need. Okay, that's the first one. And now we do the reboot. And afterwards we should do the calibration if it did work. I feel like the booting process is a little slower than it was before. I'm not sure, might be wrong. I'm not measuring and counting the seconds. Test shop, Victron Energy, Blue Power starting. Oh, I like it. I like the starting screen of the console. That's a good sign that it's booting at least. A couple other times where it didn't boot. There we go. Back up. And this one, yeah, we have to restore the session. Login. There we are. Don't see any calibration yet, sadly. Nope. Okay, this is the part 2 for the touchscreen. I figured it out, luckily. So it does work. And let me show how it does work. Very important. So all the commands we had in the past in all the video do work. It's a matter of the order. So that means very important. We did activate at the beginning the which command was it? The headless display or headless or something is this file called. And to make it work, we have to turn off the headless. So I'll log in really quick again. What I mean with this, now at the moment we do see, remember, the console on the display, right? So we do see it. We need to deactivate it. I'm doing it right now. Reboot, right? This takes a minute. All right, it's back up. There it is. Let me do the restart session. Here we are. And now it's everything in the description. Remember, we turned off our remote, console. So that's what it looks like at the moment. Just a little string down there, nothing else. And we need to now, we need to activate the GUI. So it means copy this command. And now, as you can see, I did copy already this section. So when head full, I did copy this export. Everything in the description, you can copy and paste it in there. That's what you need. We also described where to paste it in. Save it with Control Exit and then Y for yes. I didn't change anything, so I don't have to right now. Do the reboot and then do the calibration. We'll copy the TS calibrate command, hit enter. The calibrate now requests that you tap on the screen on the spots to calibrate it actually. So do that. So no center in the corners. As soon as you have done this, now we finally do turn on headless again, which is exactly what you want. We hit enter, and we do reboot. And afterwards it will work. You can use your touchscreen. Mine is a little delayed. Let me rephrase it. Mine is a little not user-friendly, but it works. Do I like it how it works? No, I think it should be way better. It might be, that's what I said last time already, it might be the type of display you're using. I have two cables I have to connect. One is for the touchscreen and one is for the power. So I don't really like that, and I didn't find a way better one. But as of now, it does work, guys, and I'm happy it does work. That's all there is to for today's video. We did upgrade. It works now. It works for now. I have to test even more to connect all my other devices with via USB to Raspberry Pi, and then we'll see if it works. Put your comments below if there's something missing, if you had to do other steps, if you had more difficulties to upgrade, and also if everything works for your system, or if there's something we have to need and pay attention to. Until then, thanks for watching. See you next time. Tschüss.